Good evening, students of MSU College of Law of Iligan Campus. Let us all have a moment of solemnity as we are about to start the program with the invocation and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Arrahmanirrahim. Malik yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Rabbana dalamna wa ilaika tawakkalna wa ilaika anabna wa ilaikal masir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Rabbana waj'alna muslimaini laka wa min dzurriyyatina ummatan muslimatan lak wa arina manasikana wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Rabbana dalamna anfusana wa ilam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Birahmatika ya arhamur rahimin walhamdulillah.
Let us bow our heads and put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering all of us today. May you bestow your guidance and blessings so that we can enjoy and appreciate its significance in our lives. Bless everyone who are present here today, that each one of us may be able to share our knowledge, understanding, and wisdom for your glory and honor. May the various activities related to this event be a success through your intervention. We all ask of this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, ewas ng sinangalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, tuyag ka ng mag-ibig, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa gagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay ginatang tula, tawid sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng patawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang may di magtitinig, luman ang araw ng walhagin pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Miting de Avance of the College of Law Iligan Campus. It's the time of the year that we are again to select a new set of officers who will serve as the voice of the studentry. And the COMELEC, headed by its chairman, Nasrullah Makalimbon, is taking its responsibility via holding this event to ensure that the studentry are equipped with enough information or knowledge of the platforms of the candidates. So I know you guys are excited to hear from our candidates and throw questions on certain issues. But before that, allow me to go over with you guys the guidelines. So there you have it. If the technical team is able to share their screen so that everyone here can also have a view of what the guidelines are. Okay, so as to the general guidelines, first is only bona fide students are allowed to enter the meeting link. Second is meeting participants shall observe proper virtual meeting decorum. And third is candidates are required to turn their cameras on when speaking. I'm sure that the facilitators of this Miting de Avance are checking it every now and then. All right, so moving on to the next part, it's the candidate's intro. So the guideline is each candidate from PIO to president shall be given strictly 1 minute to introduce himself or herself. Each candidate shall state his or her name, year level, section, achievements, work or leadership experience, and current job if employed. For the third part is questions from the students. So first is each candidate from PIO to president shall be given 2 minutes, only 2 minutes, to answer one question or express their views on certain issue. Second, the question or issue to be answered or discussed shall come from the students through the meeting chat box. So all you have to do is, if you have questions, then you can just type it out in the Zoom chat box, or if you're viewing from Facebook Live, then you can just comment it on the Facebook Live. All right, and someone from the COMELEC will check it. So in the event that several questions or issues appear at once, the first message received in the chat box shall be chosen by the moderator. Yeah, right. So should there be no question or issue raised, such shall be taken from a pool of prepared general questions. So if there are times that there are no questions raised to the specific candidate, then the COMELEC has prepared a series of questions to throw to that specific candidate. So we'll use those questions. Third is only clarifications are allowed. Follow-up questions shall not be entertained. So for the fourth part, the questions from co-candidates, which is also allowable by the COMELEC. First is each candidate from PIO to president shall be given an opportunity to ask any of his or her co-candidates one question, only one question, related to the position sought for, including their personal background or qualifications. Second, each candidate shall be given only 2 minutes to answer a question from his co-candidates. Each candidate shall only ask once, but he or she may be asked more than once. And lastly, for the closing statements, candidates may deliver closing statements individually or through a representative. A maximum of 1 minute shall be strictly allotted for each individual closing statement. A maximum of 5 minutes shall be given to closing statements by a representative. The representative shall also be a candidate belonging to the same party. And also, closing statements shall include the candidate's plans and platforms for the studentry. So I hope that everyone got all the guidelines that has laid out by the COMELEC. I believe so, right? Because this has already been submitted in advance as well. So I was just taking time to go over it before we start. So the order of presentation is we are going to start with the PIO first, and then followed by the auditor, and then the treasurer, then the secretary, then the vice president, and then lastly, the president. All right. So without any further ado, let's proceed to the first one to present himself, and that's Khalif Amindato, the sole candidate for the position of Public Information Officer. Mr. Khalif, if you're ready, you may appear on screen and confirm your attendance.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Again, good evening. I am Amindato Abdul Khalif, running for Public Information Officer. Currently, I work as a special assistant in the admin office of the local government unit of Balui. I am running as an SLSC officer because I want to pilot STRO bill, or the Students' Rights and Welfare, which we did when I was still in the Student Council Alliance of the Philippines. It is unfortunate that I had to witness my classmates during my first year dropping from law school and crashing their childhood dreams because they got overwhelmed. If only we have mechanism and student support to at least set their expectations and publish student handbook and university handbook encourage peer learning and coaching session, mental health preparedness and collaboration with Haraya Philippines and other mental health advocates, we could co-create more lawyers in more lawyers in Mindanao. I believe that if I were to be part of the SLSC, I could showcase my technical skills and help the studentry and the whole college if given a chance.
So, Mr. Amindato, is that it?
For the opening introduction, yes.
Yes, okay. So you're aware, right, that after this, we are going to entertain questions from the students. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's check the chat box as well as the feedback from the Facebook Live. So I'm still not seeing anything. Okay. So I'm just waiting for the questions to come in. All right. So guys, if you have any questions to throw to our sole candidate, Mr. Khalif Amindato, you may do so. All right. So we have the Zoom chat box as well as the Facebook Live comment box. So go guys. Feel free to fire your questions. All right, so I'm still waiting for the questions to come in. Okay, so here's the first question. So Khalif, would you listen and fight for the students' rights when violated or remain passive and tolerate your administration of its abuse exercise? What if your co-officers are close to you or share the same values? And wait, there's something. I think it's not that organized. Yeah. So just the first question. Would you listen and fight for the students' rights when violated or remain passive and tolerate your administration if it's abuse? What if your co-officers are close to you or share the same values or affiliation as what you have? I think that's the main point of the question. It's a bit unorganized.
Mm-hmm. All right. So just to answer the question, if I'm going to listen to the students' clamor, or shall I say what the students are trying to say or communicate? Well, number one, I have the prerogative. I am mandated, if I were to be elected as the PIO, to listen to the students. And this also includes the idea that I should be able to represent them to the student council. So come the situation where I have to represent the studentry to the student council, even if the claimor involves me confronting that someone or my co-counsel, student council, which we belong in the same affiliation, for example, then the best thing to do is to hear where the students are coming from. I believe that the Husay and Malasakit team are all equipped with listening skills and social skills that could be able to help the students. I do not close the door of the possibility that if we win as one, we will win as one. The students will win as one as well. So if we were to vote, I encourage voting for Husay and Malasakit team, because that's the best way that we can utilize our technical skills, and that's the best way we can achieve supporting system where every one of us complements each other. The very reason why I'm in the team Husay at Malasakit is because I see myself as one of them. I share the same values, and that does not make difference if I become a student council.
Okay, perfect. So as to the second question, Mr. Amindato, how sure are we that you are running for us, the studentry, and not for your fraternity's interest? How sure are we that since you belong to the same fraternity, there will be no secrets or there will be no any anomaly in the transparency? How sure are we that your service is for us and not for your fraternity?
Mhm. If the question is the battle of assurance, I cannot give you the concrete or the most accurate answer of assurance. But what I'm offering in the SLSC is the idea that I am running because I want to flourish the brand of leadership which I have been carrying throughout my college life, and even now that I'm already working in the community. Again, servant leadership and transformational leadership is the brand of leadership I want to push forward in the student council. Number one, it is also wrong to assume that we are actually representing just the fraternity or just your thought. If we were to take a look at the Husay and Malasakit team, we have Siti Aimina Amil and other people who do not represent any fraternity. The very reason why we got why we belong to the same party is because we share the same passion to helping the students. That's the main goal. And I am pretty sure that people who know me can actually attest that I've been serving the community, and I can also do that. I can also do that when I become part of the SLSC. I am also certain that if I were to win together with the Husay and Malasakit team, we can best utilize and we can continue to afford everyone a high caliber law school experience because we all deserve that. Woodrow Wilson, the father of public administration, and even the father of scientific management, which is Frederick Taylor, could agree when they compartmentalize the leadership into the science and art, and even thinking that if we put someone or one single unit that is dysfunctional, the whole system will dysfunction. So it is necessary that I can implore everyone that you should vote for Husay and Malasakit as a whole, because that's the best way that we can serve you and we can represent you as the student council body.
Okay, very well said, Mr. Amindato. And for the last question that I'm seeing here in the chat box, all right, so here it is. As we go through the hybrid mode of learning, and communication will obviously be an issue, how do you plan to keep and maintain the communication effective?
All right. So one of the principles in public administration that I am practicing until now is the unity of command. So the very reason why we have disinformation and miscommunication is because a lot of people are trying to convey something. If we can reform the line of command, or we can reform the line of communication through the SLSC, we can be able to maintain an accurate, legitimate, and assessed information, even timely and relevant. So what I'm going to do as part of the student council is I'm going to go ahead and utilize I'm going to utilize the classroom representatives. I'm going to make a core group where they would be the one to collate everyone's concern, and then we will be delivering, or we will be cascading one single command or information that will be cascaded all across the student council, all across the student tree. What I'm also going to do is we will be utilizing this Facebook page of the SLSC so that we can communicate to the students even virtually, making sure that this information are assessed, and again they come from single command. So yes, that would be my goal if I were to be part of the SLSC. But again, I can only do that, and I can only function well if you were to vote for Husay and Malasakit team. I can function well and I can showcase the best of me if you were to vote for my whole team, the Husay and Malasakit team, because again, I cannot see myself working more efficient and more effective if not with these people I belong with.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amindato, for responding to the students' questions very well. So I think that's it. I don't see any additional questions from the Zoom chat box as well as the Facebook comment box. And we're also limited to 3 questions. So I think that's it for the sole candidate for the Public Information Officer. Thank you so much. It's Khalif Amindato for the Public Information officer position. Thank you. Okay, moving forward to our next presenter. Let's have the candidates for the auditor position. So we'll start with Miss City Milanisa Balt. So if you're here already, Miss Balt, can you confirm your attendance by appearing on camera, as well as greeting everyone a good evening?
Assalamualaikum and good evening to each and everyone. My name is Siti Milanisa H. Paul, a certified public accountant, fifth-year law student from Section 3 Hanki. I am running for the position of auditor. I consider the auditor as a vital post in this SLSC body. Why? Because you're talking about the funds of the students. You're talking about this hard-earned money from the students. So it is the duty and responsibility of the auditor to make sure that every expense is deferred by this body is within the purpose and within the what was collected and why was it collected from the students. So I am running for this position. I am not telling everybody that I'll be the perfect candidate for this position. I cannot be the perfect candidate, but what can I tell you is I can be your best choice for this position. And rest assured that with all this, I have the skills for this position, and I hope that you support our cause. So thank you and wassalam to each and everyone.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Balt, for the introduction. I believe we have already students who are raising their questions. Let's start with the first one that appeared first. Okay, here it is. Your publication material is wanting of experiences. Do you have leadership experiences or experience in serving a society not indicated in your PubMat? If yes, why did you not include it? It's the first question that I got. Yeah.
Thank you for that question. I actually participated within different organizations during my college day. Why did I opted to not include this in the PubMat? I do believe that with experiences alone, you really cannot trust a position to that person. You need to have trust and confidence to that person. Experiences alone, there's always a first time to everyone. Even in the position, kailangan mo din, kahit sabihin na kailangan ng experience, how can you gain experience if you will not try that position or that certain experience, diba? So for me, more importantly, I want to show these students na I can be of service to them, not just because I was like this and like that and like that, but I am, and I will serve at the pleasure of the students. As to before I participated with our department organizations during my college. I participated within outreach programs, but these are just minimal as to the whole qualification that these students are looking for in a candidate. So I really hope that you will give me that trust and confidence so as to my other parties, Ramalan and Gani. And please support our cause for a better College of Law, for a better SLSC. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the response. The second question that I got is, you mentioned that this position requires trust and confidence. How do you build trust and confidence with someone who does not have as much experience with the responsibilities required by the position?
So thank you for that question. Trust and confidence. How does a trust and confidence started pala? Does someone pala inborn may experience na yan? Wala diba? Ako, for this position, basic qualification for me, I think, is the knowledge about auditing. I was a BIR examiner before, and we deal with audit. The difference with COA is that they deal with government funds, but as to BIR examiners, we deal with business establishments. Now, I know that there's that risk, but you always have to take risk for you to be able to have greater output, diba? So do not be afraid to take that greater risk to me, as your auditor this coming SLSC. And I know as a certified public accountant that your funds, your money, you can entrust that to me, that it will never be used to any purpose that is not for the students and not for any, it will not serve any personal interest or any other interest, but of the students. So thank you for that question.
Okay, so for the probably, okay. Here is another question. Why are you asking take risk with a newbie when your opponent clearly has better experience and credibility as to the job position that you actually have right now?
I think it deals with the nature of our work. My opponent, I respect my opponent well, is connected with a COA, a government auditor. Before, I was an BR examiner. Misconception about BR examiners, you collect taxes. But no, as to CPAs, we actually do audit. We make sure, how do we make sure that correct amount of taxes are being collected? By making audit, making sure that expenses are legal, that they do have basis, making sure that sales, income are well recognized, and also making sure that any other exemptions being claimed by taxpayers, they do have legal basis. So technically, an auditor is also a CPA. You cannot be an auditor if you're not a CPA. As to experiences alone, are we in a position to gatekeep positions or to gatekeep this auditor to those who are experienced? You cannot tell not everyone who's experienced with 10 years. Sometimes in an organization, a 10-year experience can be debunked by a newbie, because what matters most is the ideas. What matters most is the heart to serve the students, your purpose to serve the students, and of course your loyalty. Because if your loyalty is for other people, if your loyalty is for a specific person alone or for a specific organization alone, you cannot be an efficient auditor kasi you will be shaken by that affiliation. But if your loyalty is to the students, you can be proud that these funds being entrusted to you, they will never be used for any other purpose rather than for the students alone only.
Thank you, Ms. Balt. So, as stated in our guidelines, we can only accommodate 3 questions, right? But since there is another question, and we actually do not require you to answer this, but we are actually asking you if you can accommodate this question. It's your prerogative, actually, Ms. Balt, if you will be accommodating this question. So will you or will you not answer the last question?
It's okay.
The last question. You're okay with that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So this will be the last question. How will you respond to criticism if the criticism is posted on social media rather than bringing the concern directly to you? As a student leader, how will you respond to that?
Actually, this is from a personal experience. I myself, I shared my sentiments over a specific body, but I was called out to it. I was messaged personally by this officer. For me, as an officer, I don't think that it's wrong for the students to share their sentiments, especially in a platform which is personal. That's their thoughts, that's their ideas. Why take it against them and why invalidate them? Why not as an officer? Why not use it for you to reflect? Oh wait, isang student na call out ako. Oh wait, yung student medyo hindi sila alangan. Use it kasi yun, they are your critics eh. You serve for them and they are your critics. If you are able to address those concerns, if you are able to address those concerns from criticisms from these students, valid criticisms from these students, and you're an effective leader. If you will take it personally, I don't think that you'll ever grow in this field, because you cannot take criticisms personally. It will eat you. The field will eat you. The field will eat you. Even in reality, if you cannot take criticisms, the world will eat you. You have to be strong. The moment you run for this position, you have to make sure that you have the heart, not just to serve, but also to accept criticisms. So any other ways, go. But always, always be mindful of your criticisms. Thank you.
Very well said, Ms. Ball. Thank you for accommodating another question, even if you're required to answer just 3 questions. You are appreciated for taking an extra mile for that. Thank you. So moving on to our next candidate, let us call in Mr. Rovel Franz Alvarico. So Mr. Alvarico, if you're here, please appear on camera and introduce yourself.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Royvel Franci Alvarico, a fourth-year law student from Section Tihanki. I am a certified public accountant and working as state auditor at Commission on Audit with 8 years audit experience from vast government agencies, including MSU IIT and MSU Law. My aim is to ensure transparent governance and to hold our officials accountable with regards to the financial affairs and their spendings. My goal is to ascertain that the finances we collect from your hard-earned money are put to good use for the benefit of the entire student body. Once again, I am Royvel Franz Alvarico, and I am running for auditor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alvarico. So yeah, I'm currently checking right now the chat box as well as the comment box from Facebook for the questions. Okay, I think we have the first one. The first question for you is, granting the limited funds of the college and with the overwhelming plans and programs of the candidates, how will you achieve all costs efficiently?
Thank you for the question. As an auditor, one of our responsibilities is to ensure that the spending of the council is very well budgeted and aimed to a proper project and activities of the council. My aim is to ensure that the spending is not luxurious, not extravagant, and not unnecessary. So that is my main goal as an auditor, to ascertain that the funds will be spent across the platforms or across the projects that are planned by the council, and if given the chance, I will help them in ascertaining that the budget will be implemented across the board of the projects.
I'm sorry, I was muted. So for the second question is, which is more important for you? Is it the transparency or the brotherhood?
For me as a state auditor, I have been independent for 8 years in my service as state auditor, and I will never ever taint my independence despite being affiliated to an organization. That is my that is my that is my livelihood, and I will never attain my independence just for one cause, because it will define me as a person, as an auditor for the rest of my life. And I can assure the student that and I can and I am willing to gamble my name to it that I will maintain independence even if in a very difficult situation, I will stand my ground and I will hold them accountable despite anything else.
All right, very well said, Mr. Alvarico. On to the third question. Suppose that the plan of the president is against your will or life principle, or is violative to accounting and auditing principles. How will you deal with that?
Well, first and foremost, the projects of the president, I will hold him accountable or her accountable to it if it must be approved by the administration as well as the student body, because he cannot just or she cannot just spend anything just because he or she wants to. He or she must be held accountable to it, and it must be properly accounted for in the specific guidelines. It must follow the guidelines in the the accounting principles, as well as it should be audited in the proper way, and it should be supported with proper documents, and it should be reported timely to the student body, and that is my aim. It is to report the financial affairs of the council timely, and it should be presented to the student so that there will be no hearsays with regards to the spending of the council. The students must be informed with regards to spending on a timely basis. It may be monthly, quarterly, whichever is necessary to help the student be informed with regards to the spending of the council. And that is what I promise to the student, and that is what will I deliver.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Alvarico. I know that based on the COMELEC guidelines, again, that you are required to answer 3 questions from the students. But I see that there's another question that is being thrown to you. So it's your prerogative to answer such questions. So I'm going to ask you right now, will you or will you not answer the 4th question?
Sure, I can answer one more.
Perfect. All right. So here it is. Would you agree with me if I say that the more experienced you are as a state auditor, the more chances that you know some galawan techniques to cover up abuse of funds and the likes of it?
Definitely. It comes with experience, the knowledge on red flags with regards to spendings of extravagant, unnecessary spendings of such body. You are well versed of such red flags, and you can easily pinpoint such spendings, and you know how to deal already on such scenarios, and you already know how to act with regards to that cases. So I think the response time of an auditor, it would be timely if you are well versed and well experienced with auditing principles and guidelines, as well as auditing standards. So that is my take to that. What is necessary here is the timeliness of the response, because how will you be efficient if you are not timely in your response to stop those spendings, those unnecessary spendings, those extravagant spendings? That is the aim of an auditor, that is to stop those spendings, so that we can protect the interest of the student, as well as the other stakeholders, to protect the hard-earned money of the students, which was paid to the SLSC. That is my aim.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Alvarico, for accommodating the 4th question. So everyone, that's it from our auditor candidates. That's Mr. Rodolfo Franz Alvarico and Miss City Milanisa Ball. All right, so let's proceed to the treasurer position. Let's start with Miss Darlene Yap. Miss Yap, if you're here, please appear on camera and introduce yourself.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Darlene Yap, and I'm currently affiliated with the local government unit of Iligan City. I'm enrolled under Section Tihanki 3rd year. If you will vote for me as your treasurer, I will continue the legacy of accountable governance. And to do that, I will maintain an updated record of receipts and disbursements, so that in this face-to-face classes, you can exercise your right to inspect our records anytime you want. Because I believe that transparency requires us to be open with the financial status of the college. Also, I will strengthen the disbursement and liquidation process by improving the audit trail of transactions. I will be open with suggestions as well as criticisms to help us improve our services. Because in the first place, this is your money, and I recognize and acknowledge that it is your right to voice out your concerns regarding how you utilize your money. Again, my name is Darlene Yap, and I am running for treasurer.
All right, that's it from Miss Darlene Yap, running as SLSC treasurer. So yeah, I'm currently checking if there are questions from the students. Okay, I'm still waiting for the questions to come in. Checking in Zoom chat box as well as the Facebook Live comment box. All right, so here's the question. The first question for you, Ms. Yap. What is your opinion on rumors circulating that the previous administration is selectively spending its funds to the benefits of fraternity brothers and sisters? Did you get it, Ms. Yap?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. So, what is your opinion on rumors circulating that the previous administration is selectively spending its funds to the benefit of fraternity brothers and sisters?
Again, if this is an issue about running because you're affiliated or you are affiliated with something, again, this is not about fraternity. I mean, we have seen how the previous officers, set of SLSC officers have worked. We have seen and felt the impact that they made to the student body. And of course, if there are rumors that are circulating today regarding how they utilize the funds, then I think that is just a rumor, because we can see the result of each program and activities that they make. I mean, look at how extravagant every activity is, right? If they are corrupt and if they are using your money for a different purpose, then I think there's a problem with how we budget and how we think about budgeting our funds. And also, as a student, and also since I am not part of the SLSC officers yet, I was not there during the time. I mean, I think I have no right to judge the responsibility and how they handle their responsibilities in the past administration. So I think the question is a bit disturbing, because I'm running for this, though I am continuing the legacy of the previous administration, that is Husay and Malasakit. Still, I believe and I know in my heart that we share the same values, and I believe that they are not that kind of persons. I think that answers the question.
Very well, Ms. Yap. All right, on to the second question. One of the many issues against fraternities dominating the student body is affected ang efficiency sa certain processes and protocols because of political affairs sa frat. How can they make sure, or how can you make sure dili madamay ang efficiency and quality service nimo sa student body, especially most of the students wala nag-involve og fraternity?
Let it be clear that if there are two things that I really value, it's number one, integrity, and number two, strong work ethics. You cannot force me to do that with a certain fraternity. If that thing, that process, that system is wrong, I will not follow that one. You know, I am running for the students. I am not running because I am affiliated with a fraternity. They did not force me to run. I run on my own. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, students, this is not about having more benefit, if or giving more benefits to a certain fraternity just because most of our parties are part of the certain fraternity. I mean, be fair, we will be fair with our decisions. I mean, again, we are running for the students. We do not run because of a certain fraternity. And I guess that I hope that that clears the question. Thank you.
Yeah. And on to the last question. So how will you deal with the risk of susceptibility of cash for fraud, considering money is not deposited to any bank account?
Actually, we have a when we are the treasurer, we have our own set of system, or we improve if there is a current system. So I think the cash, we have a right system, or we already have a system of how we handle our finances, how we handle the receipts and disbursements of activities and of the projects of the SLSC. So if I am to answer that question, then I think I am going to continue again the legacy of the previous administration. And if there are things that needs to be improved or
I think Miss Yap is
depositing
reconnecting.
cash, I think we have our GCash account, and we will also establish a separate account for bank account for SLSC funds. So for clarity and for to clear this lang, no, so if that would be in an integral or that would be a questionable part, that would be an issue on your part, then we will integrate a separate account for the SLSC. Thank
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Yap. Again, I know that you are required to answer 3 questions only, but we have a fourth question. So it's your prerogative if will you or will you not answer the 4th question. So it's your decision.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay po.
Okay. So the fourth question is, what is your opinion about the previous administration having undersecretary each officer?
Can you repeat the question?
So it's, what is your opinion about the previous administration having undersecretary each officer?
I think it's a good strategy, because not all of us can do the job alone. I mean, if I am to be the treasurer, I can do the job alone. But if I am to decide, I need backup. I need some help from another person. No man is an island. Of course, there would be times when I cannot attend to my responsibility. I'm not saying that I will not be attending to my responsibility, because when to be the treasurer. So, however, if there would be
Miss Yap,
responsibility,
I
then it
think
would
you're
be better if there would be me. So I think, yeah, is it time na?
I know. To be fair, since on our end you are actually breaking in and out, do you want to repeat your answer to the question, just to be fair, so that everyone will hear your response to that question? I believe that the COMELEC can understand that as well.
Sorry, I guess it's the weak internet connection. But to repeat my question, I guess there's no problem with me, and I acknowledge and I like the strategy of the current administration having another people behind their back. Because again, as the treasurer, if you will permit me to become one, I will do the job as the treasurer. But there are times, there are fortuitous events that may hinder me to attend to my responsibility as a treasurer, and so I need someone to back me up. So again, no man is an island. I would always need someone to help me with this responsibility, because again, this is not an easy task. We all know how hard it is to balance our work, our studies, and our commitment as part of the governing body, as part of SLSC. So yes, I would need someone to help me up.
Right, that's it from Miss Darlene Yap, the first candidate for the treasurer position. Thank you so much, Miss Yap. And moving on to our next candidate for the same position, here's Mr. Muhammad Zuhair Gani. Mr. Gani, if you are here, please appear on camera and introduce yourself.
Yan, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
So start na. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala rasulil karim amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. So I am Muhammad Zuhair Gani, a 4th year student from Tihanki, a certified public accountant, And I am the newly designated director of the University Business Office, MSU Marawi. And I am the only re-elected president of the Supreme Student Council at MTIF. So I would like to emphasize that it is high time to revisit the collection of the SLSC fee because we have the higher collection of the SLSC fee compared to other law schools. And lastly, dito sa serbisyong tunay at tapat, we will fight for your rights even up to the higher authority. So lastly, I am Muhammad Zuhair running for the treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gani, for that introduction. So, yeah, again, I'm currently checking if there are questions for you. So, students of MSU College of Law Iligan Campus, where are your questions? All I see here are just cheers from the supporters. Where are the questions? All right, guys. Are there any questions? Since there is none yet, may I ask the COMELEC if they have... Oh, okay. There is one question. So, given that you are affiliated with a fraternity that is also currently the admin, and that the treasury is a highly sensitive position, how do you assure the student body that it is not just for your fraternity that will benefit from your treasury position? Do you want me to repeat the question, Mr. Gani, or you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So, Assalamualaikum once again. So, the assurance of that is I will answer that by two. First is that my experience of being the student leader before, and secondly, my dignity. I will not let my name be mapaya dito sa mga law students po. So in relation to the fraternity, I am the author of the proposal of the unit team. So the unit team composed of two coming from different fraternity and from no fraternity. I am that's why our slogan is inclusivity. Gusto namin sa tunay at tapat is yung magkaisa po tayo, walang fraternity, and unity po tayong lahat, and you can trust me by that, by the experience and also the my work experience and also my dignity, and as the admin of the Beta Sigma Lambda, and you can witness that we have one word po. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gani. For the second question, I think this is a follow-up question from your response earlier. You are saying that our SLSC fee is higher than other law schools, right? You mentioned that, Mr. Gani. So with this, how will you realize activities and get the budget for implementing the platforms?
Thank you po, ma'am. Because as I observed po, ma'am, in other school po, the miscellaneous of the Xavier University is 25 pesos. The miscellaneous of the Marawi City is 250 pesos. And the miscellaneous from the Jensen is, I think, 250. And in Iligan, we have operating expenses of 350. And we have also the miscellaneous expenses of 390. So my question now is that my purpose of that is we have to revisit. I said revisit, meaning we have to discuss it again. We have to erase those mga unnecessary expenses. If the other campuses, kaya nila, maliit lang miscellaneous, walang operating expenses, why not here in Iligan City? Bakit di natin kaya? So I said we have to revisit the collection of the SLSC fee. And hopefully, with the new administration, tunay at tapat, or even the husay at malasakit, kahit sinong manalo, we have to discuss it and address it and revisit the collection of the SLSC fee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gunny. So on to our last question. You were recently appointed as the director of MSU University Business Office. Congratulations to that, Mr. Gunny. So the question is, how can you assure how can you assure that you will be able to multitask it with your treasurer position if elected?
Thank you for that question, ma'am. Actually, Iligan City College of Law is created for working students. And we are all busy. We all know that. We are all busy. And the nice thing about my position is I'm just a kumbaga nagso-supervise lang ako sa mga tao ko. And I'm not that really busy na I am hindi front man doon sa office namin. So, kaya-kaya ko po i-manage yan because 5 naman po yung off ng school natin, and if any time na meron tayong activities, kaya ko naman po pumunta. And thank you. Yun lang po.
All right, so upon checking the chat box, I think that's it. That's all the questions that the students have for you, Mr. Gani. So thank you so much. That's it for the treasurer candidates. It's Ms. Darlene Yap and Mr. Muhammad Zuhair Gani. So let's move on to the secretary position. So let's call in first Ms. Maimona Ramalan. So Ms. Maimona, if you're here, please appear on camera and introduce yourself.
Yes, good evening to each and everyone. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope and pray all is well and ready for the face-to-face classes. I am Maimona bint Hassan Lanto Ramalan from 5th year Tihanki, and I am a licensed professional teacher running for the position of SLSC Secretary. I am a volunteer paralegal for Ideals alias DC Project, and I am previously employed as a lecturer of the Mindanao State University Maigo School of Arts and Trades. I was also an academic staff designated as records officer of the College of Education of the Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology. Among the trainings I have attended that is relevant to the position that I am running for is the seminar workshop for records and archives management conducted by the National Archives of the Philippines, and the team building of the Institute Document Control Team of the MSU IIT. And once again, I am Maimona bint Hassan for SLSC Secretary, Servisyon Tunay at Tapat.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ramalan, for the introduction. So I already have here your first question. Again, reminding all the audiences, the students that are here to cheer for their candidates, please refrain from spamming or sending so much messages or too much messages in our Zoom chat box, as it will be hard for me to spot the questions that should be thrown to the candidates. All right. So I hope that we are all on the same page for that, because we also want to hear the answers from the candidates. All right. So I have to back read because of all the spam messages. So I hope that you guys can understand. It's hard on my end to back read. Okay, so guys, please give me time to search for that question. Okay, here it is. The first question is, among all the positions, why did you choose the secretary position, and why did you run when you are already a soon-to-be graduating student?
Thank you for that question. Why did I choose the position secretary? It is because I know for myself that it is the best position where I can serve the student body, and being a graduating student, being a graduating student is not an issue if you are to serve, or if you have the heart and the passion to serve the studentry. And the secretary, the trainings or the works that work experience that I have is suitable for the position of a secretary.
All right, thank you so much. And for the second question, what will be your duty as a representative of the student body to fast track processes like the enrollment process as observed recently, wherein students waited for hours just to be enrolled? Will you call out the admin for such lapses or blame the students for being impatient?
Okay, thank you. And then as to the enrollment process, it's not an issue that can be addressed only by one person. It has to be addressed by the student body as a whole. So as a secretary, what could be my role to fast track or ease the process of enrollment? First, it is an advantage for us now because, as I have observed during the enrollment, tumatagal yung process ng enrollment because we have to wait from personnel from the University Business Office, and now we have our co-law student which is running for the treasurer position as the director of that such office. So we can we have the access now, and as a student body or as an SLSC officer, we have to formulate processes where to make the life of the students easy.
Thank you so much. On to the last question, I think. What will be your duty? I think I've already asked that earlier. So this one. Ano ang advantage ng pagiging teacher when it comes to doing secretarial job?
What is the advantage of a teacher in doing secretarial job? As a teacher, the role of a teacher is, a teacher is trained to be a multitasker. So, as we all know, teachers doesn't only teach, doesn't only teaching, but yung marami ding paperworks in teaching. You have to organize the records of your students. You have to see to it that there's no discrepancies in the records, in the grades. So my experience as a teacher can help, in when I generate or design a record system, like it's the easy retrieval of records from and also a teacher is very exposed to different tasks. That's all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ramalan, for answering the questions from the students. And that's it from our first candidate for the secretary position, Ms. Maimona Ramalan. And let's proceed to our second candidate for the same position, Ms. Siti Aimina Amil. Ms. Amil, if you're here, please appear on camera and introduce yourself.
Hello, am I audible? Good evening.
Yes, you are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi Ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Siti Aimina Amil, one of your undersecretaries in the previous semester from third year Arellano, running for the position of SLSC Secretary. Once elected, I will continue the services I have offered to the council and to the student body. With my active leadership as an undersecretary, I have been well versed with the papers and communication of the college. Through it, I will assist in making sure a smooth delivery of communication between the council admin and the council along with the student body as a whole. Assistance to the processing of student IDs will also be again my top priority, especially for our freshmen. As your future secretary, I am very much confident that I can bring excellence to another level of care and understanding with my team, Husay at Malasakit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Amil. So we already have the first question. Given that you served as the undersecretary of the secretary of this outgoing administration, and in fact made you more visible than the secretary himself, how can you assure us that it's not a toleration of such act of negligence and incompetence? If then, what makes you more deserving in this kind of toleration? Again, I will repeat that question. Given that you served as the undersecretary of the secretary of this outgoing administration and in fact made you more visible than the secretary himself, how can you assure us that it's not a toleration of such act of negligence and incompetence? If then, what makes you more deserving in this kind of toleration?
Thank you so much for that question. Sir, Kuya Rindel, our secretary in the previous administration, was not really that visible, but he was always with me virtually. Alam mo yun, hindi ko magagawa yung mga duties ko if hindi ako supported niya sa aking mga trabaho. And also, hindi siya toleration kasi talagang supported ako ni Kuya Rindel. And he has been active in virtually pag wala siya. I think that kaya nga ako nagra-run pa for secretary kasi na-train niya ako very well to do better this time. And yun, isa siya sa reason ko bakit ako tumatakbo for secretary at the moment po. Yes po.
Okay, down to our second question. Okay, I'm just making sure that I'm not gonna misread it this time. Miss Amil, it seems like you are with no affiliation per se. However, it shows that you are under no specific fraternity. Question, can you state at least free salient participation if in case the opposing party will win the position? I'm not sure if I'm not getting that, if I'm getting that as well. Did you get that?
Can you repeat the question po?
It seems like you are with no affiliation per se. However, it shows that you are under no specific fraternity. Question, can you state at least free salient participation if in case the opposing party will win the positions? Did you get that? Because I'm not getting that as well. So let's just I'll let the one who asked that clarify the question, and we'll just proceed to a question that's a lot more understandable.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Because I'm not getting that as well, so I can understand if you're not getting it. Right. So here. As secretary, how will you help ensure posting in the SLSC page be written well?
Thank you for that question. As to the posting on our page, yan ay hindi ako directly ang gagawa niyan. Gagawa lang ako ang draft Tapos subject siya for approval ng lahat ng members na mas capable pa kaysa sa akin. So, yun. It will be subject for the approval of my co-officers kung sakto na siya. Yun po. Always.
So down to our last question. If you will win as the SLSC secretary, what would you consider to be a significant contribution to the studentry?
Thank you for that question. Pero as undersecretary in the previous administration, nakita niyo naman yung service ko and leadership. So I have been so familiar with the transaction of the SLSC. Master, hindi naman sa pero yung multitasking is na master ko na. Yung familiarity with the SLSC transaction, yung patient with people in dealing with them kasi napakarami nyo. As undersecretary na naging isa rin sa frontliner ng previous administration, talagang mahirap i-deal ang lahat ng people. So I think that yung ganyan na character ko, attitude. Tapos yun, multitasking na I think that's it. Also halos lahat naman kayo dito is nakita na ako. So yung issues ng bawat estudyante from all year level can be addressed sa akin kasi nakilala na nila ako at nakilala ko na rin sila. So yun, I think mas mapapadali yung pag-address ng issue. That's it po. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Amil. I think that's it. No more questions, no more additional questions from the students. So thank you so much. And that's it for our secretary position candidates. That's Ms. Siti Aimina Amil and Ms. Maimona Ramalan. And now let's move forward to the next position, which is the vice presidency. So let's begin with Mr. Rendell John Rulona. Mr. Rendell John Rulona. Mr. Rulona, if you're here, you may appear on camera and introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening, Yan. Am I audible? Am I clear?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I am Rendell John Rulona from third year Tihanki. I'm a licensed civil engineer and currently I am working as a paralegal at the law offices of attorney Schaefer Kermel at California, USA. I have been a student leader ever since I could remember, and I am an awarded college student leader in our College of Engineering in MSU IIT. I've also played an active role in a nonprofit organization, the Rotary International, for 8 years now. Last semester, I served you as your secretary in the Supreme Law Student Council, and now I am running to continue the legacy that we have already established with the same brand of leadership, husay at malasakit, the leadership with mind and heart. I am running to be your vice president. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, Rendell John Rulona for vice president.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rulona. Now for the first question from the students. You are quite known for your tagline, husay at malasakit, in your previous administration, and it cannot be denied that your administration have served its purpose to the college. There has been, however, an issue raised by some students with regards to the sudden imposition of additional fees, particularly the year-end party fee, which was done without prior knowledge of the students. Would you agree that the student body should be informed first of any additional fees subject to imposition before including it in the SLSC fees? Do you acknowledge that the fact that you failed to uphold the husay at malasakit as officer when you unjustly imposed the fees, notwithstanding its nature, disregarding the concern and right of the students? Did you get that, Mr. Relona?
I did, but I would really appreciate it if you can repeat the question, Yan. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure. So, you are quite known for your tagline, Husay at Malasakit, in your previous administration, and it cannot be denied that your administration have served its purpose to the college. There has been, however, an issue raised by some students with regards to the sudden imposition of additional fees, particularly the year-end party fee, which was done without prior knowledge of the students. Would you agree that the student body should be informed first of any additional fees subject to imposition before including it in the SLSC fees? Do you acknowledge the fact that you failed to uphold the husay at malasakit as officer when you unjustly imposed the fees notwithstanding its nature, disregarding the concern and right of the students?
Okay, thank you so much, Yan, for indulging me for repeating the question. Well, first and foremost, wise question, whoever asked the question, because it's actually three questions in one. First and foremost, I do agree that students need to be informed for whatever movement that the student leaders, the student council would do, because that's why we're here. That's why we're running to be your leaders, because we will be your voice. We want to represent you, and how can we better represent you if you will not be informed, if we will not move as one? Second, I acknowledging the failure on our part on assailing our brand of leadership, which is Husay at Malasakit. First and foremost, we did not fail, and here's why. Um, I do not believe that there is a sudden addition of fees without prior knowledge of the student. We operate as one, as a cohesive and diverse set of officers. We have different positions, and I have full trust and confidence in my running mates. We have the president, the vice president. We also have the PIO, and we also have a network of student representatives, both in messenger and social media, and also through phone. Believe and trust my and my incumbent co-officers that they did their part, and I believe that we informed the student about the fees. And again, it's an open world per se. You could have asked questions. You could have raised your voices. Well, actually, some did, and we did address their concerns. Again, I would like to quote: "It's not what we could do. It's not what the government could do. It's not what the government could do for you, but what you could do for the government." Because it's a two-way relationship. Yes. So in a way, if you do have complaints, we implore you, please do lodge your complaints, because it's one way for us to know that we're not doing this. We're not doing good on our part. And as the author of the question said, we failed on our part on our branding of Husay and Malasakit. If you do have questions, lodge your questions properly, not on social media, properly, not defaming officers. We are here for you, not we are not here against you. And if any one of us addresses you, not that it's unprofessional or not, or if you do not want it that way, well, tell us, how would you want it to be addressed, or how would you want to be taken care of? You know what I'm saying? So in a way, there has been concerns. Yes, there has been questions raised on the raising of fees, on the additional fee, but I believe, and I have witnessed it on my with my own eyes, that each voice was empowered, each student was served. Ladies and gentlemen, we serve a leadership which guarantees no one left behind. That is what we aspire to offer. And again, I would like to close that the author of the question, you're very wise, but I believe I'm wiser. I do not acknowledge that we failed. I do agree that we need to have informed students, and we did our part very well. And I would really want to challenge you. Please come forward. I would like to have some coffee time with you and ask, where do you see parts of our service that we failed on? That would be all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rolana. For the second question, you were elected as secretary last semester. However, most of the students noticed your absences as well as your lack of participation on the main events, like for instance, the enrollment. Further, Miss Amil admitted that you are not actively participating. So, what can you say about that?
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful question. Um, I believe that leaders are not only measured on their capability to inspire others and lead them and move forward together, but also to in their ability to solve problems with all the limitations. But there, because there would always be limitations, and from experience, I know that there would always be a way around a problem. You just have to know your tools. You just have to know the people you're working with and you're working for, and also the agencies that you can work with and you can partner with to be part of the solution. Humans as we are limited with 24 hours a day with having only two hands. So there's only so much that we could do. And that's one of the reasons why undersecretaries are put in their position. And at this end, it has been done for years by the SLSC. Precedence wise, that's why it's been done for years, because it's efficient, it works, and it's effective. We need help. We need assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've said myself, I have been a student leader for more than a decade now. Skills such as time management, being able to delegate tasks, maximizing your focus, and being on your feet all the time are the skills I learned as a student leader, as a service leader. Law school taught us the importance of being able to adapt to whatever environment we are in and bring our best foot forward. As much as you would want me to be there physically, and as much as you would want me to be always be there, seeing me face to face, um, there are other avenues for me to serve you as the leader. And I was the reason why I did that, because I was having full confidence with Aimina, as she has shown herself, proven herself, and that's why we should also vote for her as secretary.
All right. Thank you so much, Rendell. So for the third question, this is like a bit controversial. So it was made known to us that you courted the freshmen to vote for you and your party by initially entering their group chats for your campaign and allowed co-officers of previous admin to engage and intervene. Is it true that you use your power as the secretary of the previous admin to utilize resources in getting their votes, a power limited from those of the opposition? Your co-officer whom intervened allegedly complained of your opponents doing the same thing, but you initiated this and in the first place. Do you think you have played fairly? This needs to be answered because the real character and intentions also are important in choosing the right leader, notwithstanding its past service and experiences.
Yan,
You want me to repeat the question, Rendo?
yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, according to the one who asked this, it was made known to us that you courted the freshmen to vote for you and your party by initially entering their group chats for your campaign and allowed co-officers of previous administration to engage and intervene. Is it true that you use your power as the secretary of the previous administration to utilize resources in getting their votes, a power limited from those of the opposition? Your co-officer whom intervened allegedly complained of your opponents doing the same thing, but you initiated this in the first place. Do you think you have played fairly? This needs to be answered because real character and intentions also are important in choosing the right leader, notwithstanding its past services and experiences.
Well, thank you so much, Yan, for the wonderful question. And again, lodging the question back to the author, you're putting more questions in one. So you're very wise. Well, anyway, first and foremost, I did not court the first years. For those of you who are here, good evening, freshmen. I was actually I was actually helping. It's one way or another of how you view the situation, but we are actually assisting the freshmen with their transaction for the Rex bookstore. We actually have that live on Facebook. So for those of you and for the author of the question to please view that recording. We were asking the freshmen because at the moment we know that they're still helping themselves get organized, and we want to facilitate that and alleviate that process of organizing, and we want to elect, not really elect, but help them um, choose an interim, mind you, an interim class representative. Okay, an interim class representative for the Rex bookstore. And I was actually even indulging them in their questions. I did not court them at all or like forcing them. So when the last night, what happened is that I informed them of the meeting de Avance, and yes, I said that I was running, but did I never did I complain, never did we defamed our opponents. And on the case that my co-officer complained against our opponents, no, she did not. I would just want to clarify that she asked actually, she asked if it was permitted, if it was okay. And if you would really think about it, she's doing it, and if it's not allowed, then I myself would also be in harm. Yes. So technically, there's no harm in doing that. We're just campaigning, and I'm not using this, and I'm not abusing my power. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rendell. So yeah, I'm not sure if I actually have kept track of the number of questions already. Was that the third question?
Yes,
It
that
was.
was the third question. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. There are still lots of questions that are coming in, but I think we, just like other candidates, we can still accommodate like another one, but that's your prerogative. So I'm gonna ask you: will you or will you not answer the additional question?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, good. So you have been a leader for many years. With the lapses of the sports events during the law days, how do you plan and how do you accept criticisms?
Come again, yan.
You have been a leader for many years. With the lapses of the sports events during the law days, how do you plan and how do you accept criticisms?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. And although I do have a problem with the question because it is already prejudicial, setting the SLSC for having failed to successfully organize the sports events. Well, that is your opinion, and I would really appreciate it. Well, first and foremost, as I've said earlier, we do welcome complaints. And if you do have complaints, please lodge them properly, officially, and say it to our face that we hate, yeah, that you did not want the way that we delivered our service. So I've already said that. Um, and actually, I'm not sure who's the author of this question, but um, we did our best for the limited options that we have when organizing the sports events during the law days. And for those that are beyond our control, like for example the weather or the booking reservations, the availabilities of the courts, some of the courts, for those issues that come in, we would have a meeting. We would have a colloquy of we would have a meeting or consensus with the representatives of the each year level. We would meet with the grievance. We would meet with the class representative. We have so many meetings there at the moment, and we did not move forward as a student as a student council without the consent of the student representatives. Mind you, we did not force it through or outside the knowledge of the representatives. So it's wrong. It's wrong to say that each event should be a certain way. You have to be flexible to meet the demands of the limitations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Randall Rolona,
Thank you so
for
much,
answering
Tuyan.
those like 4 questions. And moving forward to our second candidate for the vice presidency, here's Mr. Abdullah Bayabao. So Mr. Bayabao, if you're here, please appear on camera and introduce yourself.
Hello, first of all, assalamu alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters, and good evening sa tanan. Leadership can be learned and its success is through willingness and dedication to serve. I am Abdullah M. Bayabao, a third-year student from Arellano, and I am running for the vice president position independently. I am a graduate of Bachelor of Arts major in Sociology from MSU. I am used in serving the people, and I have experience in addressing the problems of the many. I am former researcher, and I am affiliated with different organizations. We were also able to work as a volunteer researcher under the department in addressing and studying the marginalization of indigenous communities in Iligan City, Misamis Oriental, and Bukidnon. So, this is what I'm going to say. Your voice and opinion matters to me, and so as your vote, because I know, and the incoming president, Ms. Mangotara, knows that for us, it will always be student first. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bayabao. So yeah, I am still waiting for questions to come in. Okay, so we have the first question. If you were to be asked, what do you think is your edge against the opponent for the position of vice presidency?
Actually, Rendel's achievements are very nice. Actually, it's way above mine. But what differs is what the difference between us is that I have the commitment in blending with the people, serving the people, and hearing their problems. I've been on the low for many times. Like, I haven't run for this last year because I know that I'm not ready, and I know that I need to hear what the people needs. Second, I am a social scientist, so I am used to this work. That's our difference, and that's my edge, because my course, I studied it for 4 years with nothing but hearing the problems of the marginalized, the majority, and the minority. So my point is, I know what the people needs, and I know that this edge, I can use it to make good governance for the student, because still, it will always be student first. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bayabao. For the second question, will it be for you? Will it be an advantage or disadvantage if all members of the SLSC belong to the same fraternity? What is your stance on that?
Eto sasabihin ko dyan sa author ng ano na yan. We are here because we want to make unity. At first, unity was proposed, but still, someone or some people did not agree to it. So, the concept of running for this position is to make unity, for people to work all together, regardless of what flag or what face they represent. Now, if you're saying that it is an advantage, it may be, but merong bias. It may also be a disadvantage kasi meron ding problema. We don't know who you're going to work for. But mind me, people need to vote a candidate who can work flexibly. I know, I believe, Rendel, I know that you work flexible. I know that. And so as all the candidates. But you still need someone who listens to you. That's why you need me. So my answer to that is, There is no advantage. There is no disadvantage. It really depends on how you will work with your workmates. And I believe that whoever wins for this position, sana ako, I will assure you that it will always be student first, and I assure you that I will work flexibly. Thank you.
All right. So down to our third question. What made you decide to run for that position, the vice presidency, given the fact that you are not a member of the student council before? Do you think that this is a disadvantage to you?
No, it's not. Okay, let me go back to what Miss Balt said. And let me go back also to what I said. Leadership can be learned. So how are we going to learn about leadership? How are we going to learn about how to serve the people if we will not have the chance to do it? I'm not saying that having a history of working with student council or leadership will uplift you, but my goodness, let's try something new. Who knows? But I assure you, hindi ako nag-run dito kasi hindi ko kaya. I am not that kind of person. I did not run because I cannot. I ran because I know that I can. And I ran because it is for you, the people. I'm not calling you students. I'm calling you the people. Kasi sa akin, pantay-pantay ang lahat. Students, professors, pantay lang lahat. So, ako, me, I've been with them for long. Law days, Purple Hood. I don't know, maybe some of you know me outside law school. Some knew about me in law school lang. But if you know me really well, and if you saw my traits, how I blend, how I communicate, how I listen to people, I'm pretty sure na yun yung core instrument. That will be the core instrument for this student council to serve better. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, again, you're only required to answer 3 questions, but we still have another question. So it's your prerogative. Will you or will you not answer the 4th question?
Oh my God. Okay, let's try another one. Well, maybe love nila kami. So let's go.
So the 4th question is, with all the issues that have been raised with regards to the failures of the previous administration, do you think you can provide a clean slate for a new and clean leadership? And how would you do that?
How would I do that? All right. So author niyang question na yan, I'll explain something to you. What is the importance of communication? What is the importance of speaking for yourself? What is the importance of saying your opinion? That's it. Yun lang yung sagot dun. I mean, if there are flaws, you can arrange it. By how? Speak. Voice out. We are a democratic country, and so as this institution. So, we only need to speak. We only need to speak. Voice out. Sabihin nyo lahat ng problema nyo. And like what Rendell said, do it fairly, do it the proper way. And that's how we're going to fix it. But, may blend. Maybe this time, pwede ko nang iangat yung sarili ko. Sorry Rendell, but I think I might use this. Sana good friends pa rin tayo after that. I love you, bro. Let's say I'm more approachable. So maybe I can address the problems better. And I hope na malaman ko rin lahat ng mga problems or lahat ng problema na kailangan ayusin. I'm willing to give my time. I'm a full-time student, so wala na naman ako pwedeng ibang pag-aaksayan ng oras, hindi ito. And that's our goal. That's our vision in the very first place. To fix everything. To make a change and make it the right way. So I guess, I hope na nasagot ko ng maayos yung question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bayabao. And so those are our candidates, our two candidates for the vice presidency. Again, those are Mr. Abdullah Bayabao and Mr. Rendell John Rulona. And down to our last presenter, the sole candidate for the SLSC presidency, Ms. Nor Hanifa Mangutara. Ms. Mangutara, if you're here, please appear on camera and introduce yourself.
A leader follows, a leader guides, and a leader listens. Assalamualaikum and a pleasant evening to all. I am Nor Hanifa Mangutara, a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English at Mindanao State University, main campus. I am currently a third-year student, Section Arellano of this college, running for the presidency. I am a licensed professional teacher and one of the senior high teachers under the Ministry of Basic, Higher, and Technical Education. To mention a few of my relevant experiences, I have served as president of Kabatang Pangarap ni Rizal MSU chapter, a finance minister of Il Sofians, the debating club of the College of Education, an editor-in-chief of Ember, the official student publication of the College of Education, the principal author of Bandingan Mayoral Forum, the ever mayoral debate in the history of Lanao del Sur in 2019. I am also a member and one of the women champions of Women Insider Mediators Rapid Action and Mobilization Platforms, Lanao chapter. Evidenced by the list of my service and accomplishment, I have the confidence to say, your votes and your trust will not be wasted. I will work and serve you the way I have been working and serving these past years, because I and my partner in this noble service believe that us, students, should be the priority. Our sake should be what is at stake. Dahil sa tambalang Mangutara Bayabao, estudyante palagi ang una. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mangutara. So yeah, there we have it. We have lots of questions that are coming in. So let's start with the one that appeared first. All right, here it is. SLSC is created for the student body, specifically for their welfare and concern. Thus, SLSC officers do not only represent but also listen to the heed and voice of the studentry, otherwise it would defeat their purpose. What is your take on the sudden imposition of additional fees without prior notice and knowledge of the student body? As the president, would you allow the rights of the students to proper dissemination of such important matters be transgressed and unjustly implement the sudden imposition of such fees? How would you handle such circumstances?
Thank you, ma'am, for that question. And to answer that question, first, we really have to have communication with the previous administration as to that, because we really have to address this kind of issue, for example, that we are raising or we are maximizing and adding additional payment as to the students. However, the very thing that that in my administration should do is to first communicate, because we believe that in student first, communication is always the key. We cannot speculate. We cannot even agree to the rumors. However, we have to check what happened and what was going on with this additional payment.
All right. Thank you for the answer. Now to our next question. Your 9-point working goal target states their study lounge with coffee and water station, right? So how would you materialize this when we hardly get any classrooms and only rent rooms in MSU IIT? How do you find this working goal a feasible project?
Thank you. Actually, while doing and while planning for our platforms, we already have that in mind. Given that we are from the pandemic and that we don't have concrete and specific building for the College of Law. However, we believe that in student firsts, to have a study lunch, we have to make a way in order for it to be feasible. Why? Because at this study lunch, we want the students to come in and at some point know each other, and by that we have to really find ways, even if ever that we have to ask the administration of the MSU for it to be realized. Then I think communication again cannot be will be a big answer, and a big answer to this concern.
So down to our third question. I think this has already been asked before from our previous candidates in a different position. So we have compared our SLSC fees and asked law students from other law schools, and there is a huge significant difference. For example, the SLSC fees of Xavier University College of Law, a private school, have 450 lesser fees in the upperclassmen and 300 lesser in the freshmen than ours. Even the MSU College of Law Maine has lesser but more relevant imposed fees. Our fees have been accumulating over time due to many impositions. What would you do to revert back or reduce the fees to ease the burden of the students, especially those who are not privileged? Did you get the question, Ms. Mangotara?
Yes, I believe. To answer that question, we have to really revisit and even find a way to see if other schools were able to do such tuition fee na mas mababa pa sa tuition fee natin. I think if there are possible ways for us to do that, then the incoming administration will definitely go on that. And we have to consider just what you've said po, that may mga less privileged. All the more that we have to find a way, all the more that we have to make a way for these less fortunate individuals to pursue and be in the college and pursue their dreams. Because we believe that palagi dapat nauuna ang karapatan at ang boses ng ating mga estudyante.
All right. So that's the third question, right? So are you still willing to accommodate another question?
Yes, that would not be a problem.
Okay. So for the additional question, what changes would you bring to the college that previous administrations did not accomplish?
Come again?
What changes would you bring to the college that previous administrations did not accomplish?
I believe it is in our platform, the experiential learning, wherein we want to expose, we want the students to be exposed to the community, and later, as soon as we were able to tell you our platforms, I think that question will be answered, because we believe that the College of Law is our training ground for us to give service. And in order for us to give service, we have to start it now. And to give service, we have to start from exposing the students to the community that they will be soon give service with.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Mangotara. And again, guys, that is from our sole candidate for the SLSC presidency, Ms. Noor Hanifa Mangotara. All right, so let's move forward to the next part of the program. So supposedly we are going to have the candidate to candidate question, but because of time constraints, let's move forward to the closing statements. And as mentioned, when I was going over the guidelines, it should be one representative from each party list. I believe there are 3 party lists here, right? So one from Husay at Malasakit, one from Platapormang Estudyante ang Una, and the third is from the Tunay at Tapat. So let's begin with the Husay at Malasakit. Any representative from the Husay at Malasakit? Just to wrap up everything.
Yan, I would like to raise a concern. We would opt. I believe that the guidelines said there were 2 options: either go for a representative or either individual, having 1 minute per candidate for the individual. And for the Husay at Malasakit, we decided to go forward individually with having 1 minute allotted for each candidate. Thank you so much.
All right.
Since I am spotlighted, should I start with my closing?
Yes, you may, Randall.
Okay, thank you so much, Yan. Good evening once again, everyone. I am an experienced service leader having more than a decade of experience behind me. Skills such as time management, being able to delegate tasks, maximizing your focus, and being on your feet all the time are the skills I learned as an awarded service leader. Law school taught us the importance of being able to adapt to whatever environment we are in and bring our best foot forward. I have served the studentry of MSU College of Law Iligan as the Secretary of the SLSC, and I am running to continue the legacy that we have already established with the same brand of leadership, Husay at Malasakit, leadership with mind and heart. I cannot see myself working more efficiently and more effectively if not with these people, my team. Alongside them, I am confident to serve you, Husay at Malasakit. So please vote for me and for my team. Rolona for Vice President, Amil for Secretary, Yap for Treasurer, Alvarico for Auditor, and Amindato for PIO. Thank you so much.
So is there anyone else who will speak for the Husay at Malasakit? Because the time is still running. The 5 minute allocated for the Husay at Malasakit. Can you confirm? Or it's just you, Mr. Rolona, who will speak for the Husay at Malasakit?
No. My running mates will speak for themselves.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yan, who's next?
Who's next for the Husay at Malasakit, because the time is running?
Okay, I will go first. I will go second. Let's start now. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. My name is Royver Franz Alvarico, and I am running for the position of the auditor. As a certified public accountant, my experience as an auditor has ingrained in me the value of transparency and its importance in ensuring accountability, both of which are essential in a leadership that is anchored on genuine service that answers to the student body. Husay at Malasakit is our pledge to you. We commit to a leadership that puts a premium in public trust, and we champion the call for a transparent office. Again, this is Roy Alvarico, running for auditor, asking you to vote wisely, vote straight, Team Husay at Malasakit.
Next speaker, please proceed.
Let me go next. All right. So in the tale of leadership, one must understand that the strength of organization does not necessarily come through idealism alone. I do not discourage idealism because that is where most of the iconic movement arose. Nonetheless, the same way I do not submit to false hope and messianic complex. The Mindanao State University is not a utopian academic institution, so as the SLSC as a student council. I am urging everyone to disregard personal biases and fraught grievances, judge us based on our competencies and leadership skills. This is law school already, and we are so done with unity. We can't risk experimental leadership. I will offer you pink rose instead. Team Husay at Malasakit candidates are average, reasonable individuals excelling in their own fields. We wouldn't be joining our current affiliations if it's not aligned with our moral compass. Individually, we have things to offer, but it gets bigger if we can work together.
Good evening, everyone. I'll go next. Again, my name is Darlene Yap, and I'm running for treasurer. So as a working student myself, I understand that money is really important. In fact, we spend primarily for the things that we need. So if you vote for me, I can assure you that each penny you spent will be worth it. I will end this by saying that treasury is not just about money, but rather it's a responsible handling of such money that will determine the governing body. And if I will be the treasurer, I will do everything in my will to be the vessel of transparency and accountability. Of course, I need the help of my team, so vote for them as well. Rolona for vice president, Amil for secretary, Yap for treasurer, Alvarico for auditor, and Amindato for PIO. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. This is your candidate for secretary. I'm sorry, nalobat yung laptop ko, but as an SLSC officer from the previous admin, na-appreciate ko talaga yung value ng pagkakaroon ng people who are ready to support you. Please do vote for my co-candidate, for my ka-party, Rendel Ruluna for Vice President, Darlene Yap for Treasurer, Kuya Alvarico for Auditor, and Khalif Amindato for PIO, and Amil, yours truly. We can only do this if we are together. We aspire as one. Team Husay at Malasakit, vote straight, vote wisely. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Husay at Malasakit party list. And moving on to the next party list, it's the... All right, what was that again? It's the Tunay at Tapat. So is someone representing the party list, or everyone will speak?
Yes, hello.
Which is this?
So I will be the one representing Servisyong Tunay at Tapat. Hello.
I think I'm still hearing a feedback.
Yes, good evening. Is there still feedback?
I think it's okay now. Yeah, it's clear now. Yeah.
So again, I'll be the one.
There's a feedback again. Yeah.
So I will be the speaker, or I will be the one representing or presenting the closing statement from Servisyong Tunay at Tapat. So in Servisyong Tunay at Tapat, we aim for a holistic and engaging student body that will promote inclusivity. Thus, we are championing for the following platforms. First, public consultations or hearings for proposed projects and budget. This is feasible because nowadays we are in the digital era. So in just a click, we can facilitate public consultations to hear the voice of the students, transparent and proper disbursement of funds, enrollment assistant desk, symposium for freshmen on what to expect in law school, because we've been there, we know the feeling of a freshman na nangangapa. We don't know what we are facing, what we will face in law school. Next is a study help group and the Lender Book Project. This is to promote the culture of bayanihan among the students. Records depository or through Google Drive, which is accessible to the student tree. In this records depository, students may access to the previous minutes of the meeting for the involvement and for awareness, financial statements, because not all students can attend to General Assembly where financial statements were presented. So in having the records depository, students may go back and the current administrations or the future administrations of the SLSC may go back to the previous projects implemented by the previous administrations, which we can mimic or copy and improve. Reading materials and PDF copies of books are also included in this records depository. Propose and organize for one MSU Law bar materials and notes together with the 3 campuses, the MSU Main Campus, MSU Jensen Campus, and MSU Law Iligan Campus. Lobby for designated classrooms for the College of Law. As we all know, this is a long time problem in the college. So as a student body, it is right that we initiate and lobby to the administration for rooms so that it will not hamper the start of our classes. And student council or office, of course, if we have student council office, the students may lodge or may, the students can directly communicate with the student council and semestral cleanup drive and outreach program. Let me impart to you a quote by Sir Ken Blanchard, that servant leadership is all about making the goals clear and then rolling your sleeves up and doing whatever it takes to help the people win. Rest assured, the Serbisyong Tunay at Tapat will always serve at the pleasure of the students. Our loyalty is to the students and we will be your voice. And let's start the change that the College of Law needs. You deserve the best and we are the best candidates for the position. Ramalan for secretary, Gani for treasurer, and Balk for auditor. Thank you so much.
And that's it from Vitunay and Tapat Party List. So down to the last, but definitely not the least, it's the Plataformang Estudyante ang Una Party List. So, is anyone?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be the one to. Yes. Once again, sending you virtually my greetings of peace and prosperity at this very evening. First and foremost, allow me to express my gratitude for letting me run the highest position in the council unopposed, and sending my virtual thanks to the 2 independent parties, Husay at Malasakit and Serbisyong Tunay at Tapat, for their endorsement and full support. My special thanks as well to the student populace for your effort in joining us here to show your support. Of course, thanks to the COMELEC, headed by Mr. Chairman Nasrullah Makalimbon, for making this Miting de Avance possible. Before I start with my closing speech, let me ask you one thing. Why are we here? Why did we enter law school? I guess for some, it is out of passion, while for some, it is out of pressure from family. We then go back to our purpose of the nature of this profession. Please pause for a moment and try to see this reality. Imagine a poor woman who is looking for justice. Imagine a female asking for help, but she cannot voice out because she belongs to the marginalized sector. Imagine those injustices and abuses. There is something in common. We then ask ourselves, what is it that we offer to people after law school or after the bar? It is service. Service for the people of this nation. We are experiencing injustice and oppression because not all of us can afford legal service. That is our goal here, to give service to the people. Service that we can offer for free because it is the passion that we are developing here in this institution. It is the same service that we are going to offer to you because it reflects on our working goals. As your incoming SLSC president, why don't we start this service as early as possible? We aim to expose everyone, including the freshmen, to be exposed as early as today. We, together with my Vice President, Mr. Bayabao, are committed to realize the importance of experiential learning we are bannering from our 9-point working goals. We want everyone to experience and explore the world of legal profession, not only inside the classrooms, but also in our daily lives, like the community we are in, the community that needs us. To continue, it has been an honor and privilege to be given the opportunity to render service to the studentry and be able to address their timely concerns. On that note, allow me to present to you our 9-point working goals. Mental health workshop and round colleague discussion, law school ready freshman programs and kits, monthly financial transparency report, study launch, bar prep seminars, streamlining of the enrollment process, collaboration with the LSG Marawi, and the last two, the highlights of our goals, experiential learning, and outreach law seminars for non-law students. These 9-point working goals have been formulated not only to target specific and immediate needs of the students, but also to provide long-term solutions that will last well beyond our period of leadership. These goals, plenty as they are, have only one thing in common, and that is they have been conceived with us, students in mind, in line with our Student First initiative. Dahil sa tambalang mangutara bayabaw, estudyante ang una. This can all be made possible through your support. Support you. Support Student First. Support us. Vote for Mr. Bayabao for SLSC Vice President and yours truly for SLSC President. In Student First, you are not just heard, but you duly heard. Meanwhile, allow me to use this channel to send my extensive hopes to my future family council members. I know it is a tough decision for all of us in deciding to run for the positions we all aspire to sit on. And by making our final decision, we know that this is not going to be easy and smooth. We will be facing different issues and concerns from our classmates, batchmates, friends, seniors, and juniors. But let us address them one by one with the feeling of fulfillment on our end. I hope that we run for these positions because we are committed to serve and face the consequences of our actions. I do believe that you all have the capabilities and abilities to lead. However, leadership is not all about the two. Leadership is more of mind and heart with pure intentions to serve the majority while catering the needs of the minority. As we are for the students, by the students, and of the students' welfare. No more, no less. Again, vote for Mr. Bayabao for SLSC Vice President. Together, let us win this fight. Let us serve as one.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mangutara from the Platapormang Estudyante ang Una. So again, for the presidency, it's Ms. Norhanifa Mangutara. For vice presidency, it's Mr. Abdullah Bayabao and Mr. Rendell John Rulona. For the secretary position, it's Ms. Siti Aimina Amil and Ms. Maimona Ramalan. For the treasurer position, it's Mr. Muhammad Zuhair Gani and Ms. Darlene Yap. For the auditor position, it's Mr. Rovel Franz Alvarico and Ms. Siti Milanisa Balk. And for the public information officer, it's Mr. Khalif Amin Dato. So that's it from the candidates for this year's Supreme Student Council of MSU College of Law. So let's not forget that the election will commence tomorrow, starting from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. All right? So student leadership, in my experience as well, is definitely difficult, and the time and effort often goes unnoticed. It's an added responsibility on top of the academic demands. But we should be grateful to these people, especially the candidates, no, and the previous administrations, because they are really passionate that they actually allocated time to serve the college, especially the studentry. It's never easy, guys. So ngayon pa lang, no? Congratulations to everyone. And let me take this opportunity as well to thank and extend our sincerest gratitude to every student leader from the previous administration for everything that you do. The list is very much long, so I cannot actually mention everything that you did for our college. We are just grateful for everything. And before we let you guys go, as promised, we will be having a raffle draw. As mentioned in the post, there will be 3 winners. And I think it should be the COMELEC chairman who will be discussing the raffle, because I'm not really knowledgeable as to how do we go about it.
I think Miss Punong Bayan will share her screen.
One of the commissioners, right?
Yes po.
All right.
Okay, for the first winner of the 100 pesos. Abdul Jabbar Makadato, are you still with us? Mr. Abdul Jabbar Makadato. Can anyone confirm if Abdul Jabbar Makadato is still here in the meeting link? Should we respin the wheel, Commissioner Punong Bayan?
Is he in the comment section of our FB Live?
Yes, accordingly sa Facebook daw siya. So congratulations, Mr. Abdul Jabbar Makadato. Kindly contact one of the commissioners or me through Facebook. Okay, thank you. For the second winner of the raffle draw, please spin the wheel. Miss Marzel Nympha Salipong, congratulations. Are you still with us? Napaka sa Zoom.
Also kindly check if she's in the FB Live comment section.
Yes, kindly check, commissioners.
Nash, I believe she's not in the FB and on the Zoom.
Okay, spin the wheel again, Miss Bayan. Pick again.
Nash, apologies. She's actually present.
Nash sa Zoom meeting?
FB.
FB, okay.
Yes, yes.
So for the third raffle draw winner, we have Talia Makadato. Are you still here, Miss Tal? Okay, she's here. Congratulations. Okay. Ilang winners na ba yun, Miss Punong Bayan?
3 na po.
Dagdagan natin ng isa. Bonus 1 person. Okay. Spin ka pa ng isa. Jonathan General Lau. You're still here? Wala na. Isa pa. Wala siya sa Zoom.
No, Nash, wala sa Zoom according to name.
Ay, sorry.
Search na ko.
Okay,
So,
okay. Thank you.
Next.
Last spin, Miss Pungbayan. Nisa Lokman. Kindly check.
Not around based on the participant's name.
Okay, not around.
We'll check Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, spin again. Sorry. Kompo bayan.
Wala rin sa Facebook po. Okay.
Yeah, wala. Spin ka lang ulit for the last time. Oy, Art Mapandi. You're still with us, Art Mapandi. Muhammad Yasin Mapandi.
Is not in the participants sa Zoom, maybe in Facebook comments.
Facebook, kindly check. Wait. Wala pa rin.
I believe he's here.
Okay, si Art Mapandi.
Yes. Someone message.
Thank you. Congratulations, Art. Okay, that's all, guys. Sorry sa mga hindi na swerte tonight. And thank you for gracing us with your time tonight. I know na tananta kay, we're all nervous kasi semester is about to open. So thank you, everyone. To my co-COMELEC commissioners, thank you so much for the help. And to the candidates, thank you so much. And I think that's all. We can end this meeting.
Everyone, bye.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Goodbye. Good night.
Thank you. Have a blessed night.